Well, hello, friends. This is going to be a short one because really I'm just wrapping up what I've been talking about, which is uh, what do you do after you have published your first novel? And the answer is really simple. You go and write your second novel. You just keep going. I think that the best thing to do is to take a moment to breathe. I'm a huge proponent of stepping back and looking up. And I know that, other people talk about this as well. But I think it's hard to overstate the value of pausing, of just having a moment of like, all right, let me evaluate where I am. Let me reorient. Let me remember why I'm doing this in the first place instead of just charging ahead blindly with my head down. Is this working? Do I like it? Yes? Cool. I'm going to keep going. No? All right. Let me evaluate whether I still want to reach the goal I'm getting to, and then from there I'll reassess and I'll come up with a new tactic to get where I want to go. I like to do this by physically shifting my location. So after I have finished a book, I will often take a day not in my office to get my head into other stuff. I won't turn on my writing computer. I will just sort of leave it compartmentalized where it was, and I will go and I will do other things. And I will figure out ways to spend time with other people or have new experiences, right? And just take that moment to breathe. I think the most important part of taking a moment to breathe is reframing where you are. When you are on a path, this has happened to me so many times, where I was hiking and I was on a path and I knew where I was going, right? I was following the path up to the top of a mountain or up to the top of a ridge, and it's hard because it's steep. And so I put my head down and I am just walking, right? And it's that trudge where you're just one step at a time moving up the hill. And I've always found it very helpful to push as far as I can. And then, as I'm starting to get exhausted, to pause, to lift my head, and to look at where I'm going. Obviously, I can't walk with my head up the entire time, otherwise I'd trip and roll down the mountain. But taking a moment to pause and to look up and see how much closer you are to where you want to be is unbelievably encouraging. And that's what we want to do in this journey as authors as well. But the difference is that for us, this is a lifetime thing, right? We don't think about this in terms of, oh, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna make some quick money, and I'm gonna get out. No, that's not what this is. We're in it for the love of doing it, right? We're in it for the love of writing. That's why we want to be authors in the first place, right? Making money is important because it is a means to an end. It's a means to allow us to continue writing. And that's what we need to be reframing on. We need to be reframing around the fact that this is a long game, right? We want to be able to do this when we're old. I want to be 80, 90. I keep telling my wife I'm going to live to be 120. She doesn't believe me, but I'm planning on it. But the goal is to do this forever. And so why would I spend all of my time locked into the here and now, completely encasing myself in the difficulty and the suffering of doing the hard work, when I could just pause for a moment, look up, and say, oh yeah, that's where I'm going. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to achieve. And look how much closer I am. I've written another book. I've practiced. I've improved my craft. I've gotten this much closer to the goal. And even more importantly, look how far I've gone from where I started. When I started, I had no books written. I had nothing, right? I had this idea for a story, but it didn't exist. It wasn't real. And now it's real. People can read it. And it's good. And so taking that moment to reframe and say, okay, I'm on this path, I'm trudging along. Where am I? What's behind me? What's in front of me? How has my position shifted? It can be incredibly life-giving, incredibly encouraging as we're taking this walk. Because being a writer is hard. Being an author, even harder. So getting as much encouragement as you can is super important, and taking that moment to breathe and to reframe is important. Now, once you've done that, the next step is to reprioritize your actions. There are a ton of different things you can do, right? You can write books, you can market books, you can talk to other people about books, you can engage with other authors, you can go get covers, you can do all sorts of different stuff, right? There's, you can learn how to run ads, you can do your taxes. Like, there's a million things that you can do as an author that are all super important, that need to happen. The question is, what is the most impactful thing right now? What is the thing that's going to give me the highest leverage at this precise stage of my journey? And if you've been watching any of my videos, you know the answer by now. If you have just written and published your first book, then your highest leverage action is writing your second book. If you have just written and published your second book, your highest leverage action is writing your third book. I just finished my 42nd book. My highest leverage action is writing my 43rd book. And that's going to continue to be true. And so, guess what I'm spending my time on? That, writing more books. But sometimes we get caught and we think to ourselves, oh, there are all of these other shinies around. Like, I've got to go and do all of these other things. As someone who is perpetually distracted, I feel this so hard. There are so many fun things to do and so many things that I want to do. But at the end of the day, my priority has to be writing the next book. And then everything else falls from that. And so I reprioritize my list every single time, because I find if I don't do that, if I don't do it consciously, then unconsciously I start drifting. I start getting excited about other things. I get into launches. I start getting sucked away, and my writing time dwindles and dwindles and dwindles until all of a sudden I'm not writing at all. And so take the time to reprioritize, and always, 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 always put writing at the top of that list. And then, once you've done that, the final step, start writing. Get to it. Come up with your next idea, plot it, sit down, draft it, edit, go through the revision process, all of that stuff. And if you're looking for any help in that, I run writing sprints Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to noon. And if you're at all around during those times and you can write, I would love it if you would jump on. I stream them here on YouTube. So if you subscribe to the account and turn on notifications, it'll alert you when I go live. And you can come and you can hang out. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. I'd love to talk to you about your writing. I'd love to encourage you in it. I'd love for you to be able to encourage me in it, because this thing is hard, right? And if you've done it once, it's awesome. But then you got to do it again, and you got to do it again, and you got to do it again. And one of the best ways to ensure that you can continue to do that is to do it with community. So come and join me. Again, Writing Sprint, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on YouTube. And hopefully I'll see you there.